Have you ever paused to truly reflect on what it means when Allah is preparing a woman for her future husband? It's not always about noticing signs around her. It's often about a transformation that happens deep within. Before a beautiful marriage can come to life, Allah nurtures, strengthens, and shapes a woman's heart and character, making her ready for this sacred journey. In this video, we'll uncover 7 meaningful signs that show a woman is experiencing this divine preparation. These aren't just passing emotions or temporary thoughts. They're signs of real growth, healing, and deep spiritual alignment. If you're single right now and working to become the best version of yourself, this message is for you. Whether you've been waiting for a long time or have just started thinking about your future, remember, Allah never delays without wisdom. He prepares your heart long before He fulfills your dua. Let's explore these signs together. Sign 1. Deep spiritual growth. One of the first signs that Allah is preparing a woman for her future husband is a profound spiritual awakening. She feels an irresistible pull toward her faith, not because she has to, but because her heart longs for it. She starts seeking closeness to Allah with genuine love and sincerity. Her awareness grows. She becomes more mindful of her actions, her words, and even her thoughts. The Quran begins to speak directly to her heart, and her prayers become her safe space, her source of peace and clarity. Her worship shifts from mere routine to intentional devotion. Salah is no longer a duty. It becomes heartfelt communication with her Creator. She pursues knowledge not to argue or impress, but to sincerely apply it in her life. Her choices begin to align with what pleases Allah, even when those choices challenge her personal desires. This spiritual growth unfolds naturally, often shaped by life experiences that humble her and draw her closer to her Lord. The more she purifies her heart and strengthens her iman, the more emotionally and spiritually prepared she becomes to be a righteous spouse. Her relationship with Allah becomes the solid foundation on which her future marriage will be built, with taqwa, God consciousness, and sincerity at its core. Sign 2. Growing patience. Another key sign is the development of deep patience. As Allah prepares her for her future husband, He often places her in situations that require emotional strength, endurance, and resilience. These moments aren't meant to break her. They're shaping her into someone who can handle the tests of marriage with wisdom and grace. She may face delays, unanswered prayers, or seasons of loneliness. But through it all, she begins to understand the true essence of sabr, patience. This patience isn't about waiting passively. It's an active, conscious trust in Allah's timing. Even when things seem uncertain or challenging, she learns to face difficulties without losing her faith or compromising her character. Her patience is beautifully refined in her quiet perseverance during trials, in her kindness, even when frustration tempts her otherwise, in her steadfast heart when the path ahead isn't yet clear. Rather than constantly questioning, she learns to surrender to Allah's wisdom, knowing that every delay and every hardship is preparing her to be the partner she is meant to become. She begins to say, Alhamdulillah, even through the pain, trusting that what is delayed is never denied. This growth in patience is essential. It equips her to nurture her future relationship with compassion, resilience, and emotional strength. A woman who develops this depth of patience becomes a source of tranquility, not only for herself, but also for the man Allah is preparing for her. Sign 3. Awakening self-respect. Another powerful sign that Allah is preparing a woman for her future husband is the awakening of her self-respect. She starts to view herself through the lens of dignity and honor, realizing that her worth is not tied to the approval or validation of others. This inner transformation pushes her to reassess her relationships, her habits, and her environment. She distances herself from anything or anyone that diminishes her value, whether it's toxic friendships, meaningless attention, or distractions that pull her away from her purpose. She becomes more intentional in how she carries herself. Her self-respect begins to shape her decisions, especially in love and commitment. She no longer seeks attention to fill temporary voids, but values meaningful connections rooted in faith, sincerity, and mutual honor. This shift also brings emotional maturity. She no longer over-explains herself or chases those who fail to appreciate her presence. Instead, she focuses on becoming whole within herself, knowing that true love isn't about completing one another, it's about complementing each other. A woman grounded in self-respect can love deeply without losing herself, and this is a sign that she is truly ready for the partner Allah has destined for her. Sign 4. Learning to let go. One of the most profound signs of divine preparation is when a woman learns to let go. She begins to release the weight of her past, the people who no longer belong in her life, and the expectations that no longer serve her growth. Letting go isn't a weakness, it's a powerful act of trust in Allah's wisdom. She comes to understand that holding on to past pain, unresolved emotions, or unhealthy attachments only delays the blessings Allah has written for her. Sometimes this means walking away from a relationship she once believed would lead to marriage. Other times it's about letting go of the image she had for her life by a certain age. And while this release can be painful, it creates space, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, for what is truly meant for her. She stops clinging to the what was and begins to welcome the what could be with an open heart, fully trusting in Allah's timing. She no longer feels the need to control every outcome, because she now understands that true empowerment comes from surrendering to Allah's plan. This freedom allows her to grow in ways she never imagined, making her emotionally available and spiritually prepared for a man who is also being shaped by Allah. Sign 5. Emotional stability. As a woman undergoes this divine preparation, emotional stability becomes one of the clearest signs. Another clear sign of divine preparation is the development of emotional stability. This doesn't mean she never feels sadness, frustration, or disappointment. It means she learns how to manage those emotions with balance, wisdom, and patience. She becomes less reactive and more reflective. Instead of responding with immediate anger or distress, she pauses, thinks, and chooses calmness over chaos. This emotional maturity allows her to handle life's uncertainties with grace. She learns to pause before speaking, process before reacting, find peace through her connection with Allah. Her emotions no longer control her. Instead, she honors her feelings without being consumed by them. She begins to realize that true peace isn't tied to circumstances. It comes from inner strength and sincere reliance on Allah. This emotional grounding makes her a safe space, not just for herself, but one day for her husband and her future family. She becomes a woman who listens with empathy, communicates with honesty, supports without becoming emotionally drained. Emotional stability is a foundation for a successful, peaceful marriage. By nurturing this quality, she is preparing to be a partner who brings tranquility, compassion, and wisdom to the relationship Allah has destined for her. Sign 6. Discovering vision and purpose. When Allah is preparing a woman for her future husband, He often inspires her to discover her own vision and purpose in life. She begins asking herself deeper questions. Why am I here? How can I serve others? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These reflections lead her to explore her unique strengths, talents, and passions. Whether through her career, creativity, education, or community service, she starts building a life that is meaningful, purposeful, and fulfilling. She no longer waits for marriage to give her direction. She steps into her own identity first. She sets intentional goals and defines the values she wants her future household to embody. This clarity not only prepares her for marriage, but also shapes the kind of partner she will attract. A woman with purpose brings strength, depth, and inspiration to her relationship. Her sense of vision gives her the resilience to face challenges. When life becomes difficult, she stays grounded because she knows her purpose. She's not preparing to simply be someone's wife. She's becoming a woman of substance, building a life of impact, passion, and principle. And when marriage comes, she will stand as an equal, not just in love, but in purpose and contribution. Sign 7. Duas become personal. One of the most beautiful signs that Allah is preparing a woman for her future husband is the way her duas begin to change. They shift from general, routine prayers to deeply personal, heartfelt conversations with her Lord. She no longer asks only for a good spouse. She prays for a partner who will walk beside her in faith, someone who will grow with her in love, a spouse who will build a life of purpose with her. Her du'as begin to reflect her evolving clarity, emotional maturity, and readiness for a meaningful relationship. In these moments of sincere prayer, she opens her heart, not to the world, but to Allah alone. She starts to ask Allah to shape her into a nurturing, wise, and God-conscious woman, someone capable of sustaining a beautiful marriage. Her focus moves from just receiving to becoming a woman worthy of the man she is praying for. Through her du'as, she invites Allah into every part of her preparation, trusting that He knows what she needs even before she does. Sometimes, she may even begin to pray for her future husband by name, not out of attachment, but with clear intention. Her du'as are no longer driven by desperation. They are rooted in trust and sincerity. This depth in her private conversations with Allah strengthens her tawakkul, her complete reliance on Him. She no longer demands the future. Instead, she prepares for it with faith, patience, and an open heart. The beauty of this stage is that her du'as are no longer simple wishes. They become a reflection of who she is becoming. With every heartfelt whisper to her Lord, she moves closer to the moment when her heart will finally meet the one it was always meant to hold. Every step Allah takes you through is part of a greater plan. If you've seen yourself in these signs, know that you are being shaped for something beautiful. Marriage isn't just about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person. If this message touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Empowered Deen for more soulful, faith-centered content. Let's close with a heartfelt dua. May Allah grant me a spouse who brings me closer to Him. Type this in the comments as both a prayer and a personal affirmation. Your journey is just beginning. Stay patient, stay faithful, and trust in the beautiful story Allah is writing for you.